Grant Chapman here with my dear friend Evan Nagal. Today I wanted to share about belief. As you know, every Monday, same time, same place on Facebook and here on Zoom. And belief is something that I think is one of the most important things that you can have, or that you need to have if you want to achieve something or to gain something.
Yeah.
Having that belief. And one way, and I'd love to hear from you obviously too. But one way that really struck me was when that I wanted to go to the cruise to Alaska. My mom, like her trip, I take my mom, and I needed to like have belief that it was possible to get there. Like I believed that I was already there, and that was so crucial to me. And I learned that if you can have this belief, then you can get there. If you truly believe it's possible for you, and if you truly believe clearly what it is that you want and that you can obtain it, you can get it. So now let's talk a little bit about some of the paradox of belief. But before I want to do that, just in case some of you that don't know me, Grant Chapman, 34 years old, born and raised Honolulu, Hawaii, background in sales, marketing, and background in loving people.
That's good.
And loving people. And that's my new one. Background in loving people. And so, and so welcome to our channel. And thank you so much. And this is my dear friend and life buddy. Mr.
I'm Evan Nagal, World Area Champion, lover, friend, awesome guy.
So Evan is one, Evan's been playing yo-yos for a long time. He won the world championship of playing yo-yos. I'm assuming because you believed you could, right? Like, and also now you're a recording artist. You have an album. You're doing music, right? You're producing, right? You're writing, you're singing, you're dancing, you're doing it all. And you went from yo-yos to this. And would you agree that belief is a big part of your success?
Yeah, I think it's all of my success.
Belief is all of the success.
Yeah.
So we even have Salvador and Alma's son. Hey, amigo, ¿cómo estás? We have their son. I love this little guy right here. And so like.
But what I will say about that though is like, I think that gets annoying for some people because it's like, well, how do you believe? Like, why? Like you're just somebody who believes. Like you're just really confident. You just believe in like anything that you do. No, that's not true.
Okay.
You know, belief is something that you can develop over time.
Yeah.
And I think that's the point we're trying to talk about today, right? Because some people are like, why is it that he can believe and I can't?
Yeah.
And how do I get to the place that I can believe the same that person believes?
Okay, so first question, how do you believe?
How do you believe? That's a good question. Do you want to take that?
No, you're on a roll. We'll let you go. So everybody writing this down, hopefully you're taking notes. The first thing is like, how do I believe? Like, how do I believe it's possible to be just, like the person that I want to be out of my wildest dreams? Like, how do you do that, right? Like, that's the question. How do you believe that you can go from here to like extraordinary?
Yeah, it's super
That's
nuanced.
the first step.
The first step. Okay, so let's see. The first step is to believe that you can believe.
Believe that it's possible to believe.
Exactly. Another way to put this is to intend that you're going to be 100% in your belief. So you don't even have to really be 100% in your belief at this moment. That's okay. I think that we all go through that. And I think that's the process of creation. At first, you don't believe you can do something. And then you have an intention that maybe you can do this thing. And then as you start to think about it more and you set your intention more and more clear, you start to believe more and more. Yeah. So
for the first step, sounds like you're kind of getting a glimpse. Just like, oh, like I want to be the world yo-yo champion. Like, like that's like, wow, what an interesting idea, right? That'd be it. It's just an idea. It's a seed. And then it sounds like what you're saying is you water the seed of belief that you can do it. So, okay. So you're saying the first step is to just kind of like
set an intention to believe.
Set an intention to believe.
Intention and belief are very intertwined. And I think they almost mean the same thing.
Okay.
But all you have to know is that if your intention is clear, the mechanism will appear, right? So the thing is...
Say it one more time. Slowly.
She's
translating real time this way.
Oh, okay. When your intention is clear, the mechanism will appear.
Wow, I like that. Okay, that's good. Okay.
So that's what we mean by, to create something big, to become like the world yo-yo champion, or to become, you know, a Team Elite in Nu Skin or whatever your goal is, you know, you really just have to set the intention and really get your belief really strong in that thing. And then it'll naturally kind of happen over time. And there's a lot of spiritual aspects to that where, you know, certain things will show up in your life that will help you to create what you're trying to create, or like you'll take the right actions, you know, from a perspective of just kind of doing. But the main point that you have to remember is that your intention is always going to create whatever it is that you want, basically.
Okay.
Okay. But so like, yeah, the main thing though, the first step is to set an intention to get to a place of 100% belief.
Okay. So the first step is setting the intention to get to 100% belief that it's possible that I can do this, whatever this is for them. Maybe making their first.
Well, okay, before that, if you don't have an intention, like if you don't have a goal, you got to set a goal.
Okay.
Right? Because then if there's nothing to believe in, it's basically like if you've ever seen the Four Thinkers chart, if you don't have a goal, then there's nothing to try to build your belief in, because like there's nothing there.
So it sounds like the first thing, like we've been saying, is first have a goal. Have a B point.
I have a feeling all of these people here have a B point.
I agree with that.
If they don't, then they're doing something wrong. They're in the wrong business.
Right? Well, yeah, exactly what Evan said is absolutely right. You probably wouldn't be on this call listening every Monday if you did not have, you know where you are now, and you set, I want to go to this next point. Like here's point A, here's point B, right?
So but if you are at that point, then set that. Okay. Right? Like as soon as possible.
Okay. Then now what are some things to do? Now, once you get this belief, like, okay, I believe that I can be this or do this. What are some steps to maintain that belief? Because sometimes through these peaks and valleys, we're like, yeah, Evan, I believe I can do it. And then all of a sudden, like, you stop believing because of maybe negativity, or maybe you live someplace, or maybe it's not fun anymore, or what are some good ways to maintain that belief?
I don't know. I think, I think you had a pretty good answer to that. I'm going to let you take your own question.
Yeah. So a good way. So if you guys are asking yourselves like, okay, how do I maintain? Because during times of hardship, during times of maybe you don't have any more money, maybe you don't have any more friends, maybe you're all alone, and you're like, okay, now what do I do? Like, how do I continue to believe in this? And one way I thought is really powerful is, number one, having your dream board, like having a visual picture of what you want, specifically, like, like the things that you want, your lifestyle, what you want it to look like. And also too, having like a statement or a purpose, that a mantra that you're repeating, embodying, and embodying is feeling, and feeling the attainment of it. And if you can feel the attainment of it, you're going to just keep going until it's attained. And you're like, oh yeah, I know this feeling. I've been feeling this way all along, but now it's like, I'm actually feeling it, versus like, oh yeah, like, okay, cool. Right. And so just to repeat that, to maintain this belief system of, yes, I can make it to, let's say, Team Elite or World Yo-Yo Champion, or having a crowd of 80,000 people watching a concert, for an example. Like to maintain that is that visualization, the repetitive statement, right? Repeating it and keeping it really clear and fresh, I think, in your mind. Because if it's clear and fresh, you'll like take little baby steps, right? You'll take action towards it.
Yep, I'm totally with you on that.
Okay. So if you guys don't have your dream boards yet, I would highly suggest to get your dream board, cut some pictures.
What I'll say about that real quick is that everybody is different in the way that they understand information and the way that they think. Okay. So like, for example, some people think in pictures. So when you think you see a lot of images in your mind, then you're going to want to use a dream board because that's the way that your mind thinks. My mom, for example, if I'm just explaining to her, this is what you want, this is what, like, and I'm trying to like tell her, she's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. But if I say, hey mom, this is what, like, for example, with her goal with working out and fitness, I'm trying to tell her like, yeah, wouldn't it be good to like feel strong and you'll be like really like, it'll be really, you'll be healthy and all this. And she's like, I don't really see that. And I was like, okay, well, what if I said like, what if I showed you that you have a really like flat stomach and you look sexy and you look really fit and like guys are looking at you and like all this like what would that like look like? Do you see that? Can you see that? And once she saw it in her head, it clicked. Like it was like that. And like the next day, the next like week, she was working out like every day that week. So like everybody's different. So if you're visual, you want to like try to visualize more. You want to try to look at what that thing looks like in the future. But for me, I'm super auditory. I don't see many images. So for me, the thing that works the best is the statement. Like saying affirmations, like I am successful. Like, you know, the whole statement, like it is my birthday, May 3rd, 2021. And I have Nagao. I'm so happy and grateful now that I receive over $20,000 a month in residual income from the royalties of my music. The affirmations.
Affirmations, yeah.
Everybody's different.
But regardless if you're pictured or auditory, you should still have a statement that gives a specific date, a specific, you know, exact measurement of what you want, right? And things that like what you're going to get and what you're going to give in service for those things, right? Yep. So you want to have a statement that you're repeating all the time.
With emotion.
With emotion, yeah. And it doesn't have to be yelling it, I've noticed. You don't have to yell it. It's not a rah yell. It's like that. It's like that. It's that. Like it's that. It's there, right? I don't know how to explain that, right? Like you feel it in your like in your soul, in your belly, right? It's that feel, that fire inside of you.
Well, I think what I would explain it as is like when you're there, when you are a team elite and everybody's congratulating you and you've helped so many lives, that the feeling that you're gonna get is so much love. People are coming up to you saying, oh my God, Grant, thank you so much for helping me. And like, congratulations on your team elite. Oh my God, you know, Eric, thank you so much for helping support me in this, you know, my journey, and congratulations on your blue diamond, whatever it is. Like, what is that feeling that you feel? It's probably a proud feeling. It's a love. It's so much love and so much like fulfillment for doing the thing that supported others and doing the thing that you said you were going to do. And so when you're saying your statement, you're saying it as if you already accomplished it, and all those feelings that you would get from that experience are showing up in the present moment. And that's the thing that actually ends up manifesting in the end is that emotion. So if you're just saying it, you're just like, it is my birthday, May 3rd, 2021. I'm so happy and grateful, and I'm receiving $20,000. No, that's not going to cut it, man. You know, it's the thing. Why am I trying to get $20,000 a month through music? It's because I want to be performing in front of huge crowds of people. Why do you want to be a team elite in Nu Skin? It's because of the influence that you have and the ability to feel like you're making an impact on lots of people's lives. And so that's the emotion we're trying to draw out when we're saying it. Yes.
Yeah. So connecting the emotion to the belief of being of service or what you want. So connecting the emotion.
Yeah, whatever those emotions are. It could be other stuff too. You know, it doesn't just have to be that. But
now let's look on the other spectrum. What happens if you lose belief?
Then you start to believe again.
Like what happens if you just lost the belief?
Completely lost?
Yeah.
Well, this is an interesting question. Because I think that in my case, I've lost my belief a lot. And a lot of the times it's actually because it seemed too scary. And so I actually tricked myself into saying, you know what, this is too difficult. This is too scary. So, you know, I actually didn't want it anyway. And when that happens, it's okay. You know, that's how human beings are. We do that. We trick ourselves.
Has anybody had that happen to you? Put a 1 in the chat if you have convinced yourself. I'll put 2 of them for myself. That you convinced yourself you didn't want something that you said you wanted, which you knew you really wanted. Right? Like, you know it's good for you, know you want this, but it got too difficult or scary or new, and you decided not to do it. So, but yeah, it looks like, okay, everyone's like, yeah, justifying. Yeah, Eric would just say like justifying it, right? Okay, so we're all on the same page as you. Okay, just want to make sure everyone's on the same page. Okay, we're on the same page.
Yeah, I mean, you know, they happen sometimes, and I think that the key there is that it's okay. You know, it's like integrity. It's like some days you're just out of integrity. You mess up. You know, some days you lose your belief, and then that's okay, because you know, belief isn't something that is necessary to be there all the time, 100% of the time, right? Eventually you want to get it to that point, but in the process, you're going to be on belief, off belief, on belief, off belief, on, and then, but eventually you start to be more on, then you're like on, off, off, on. And then as that belief stays longer and longer and longer in your mind, then you start to ride this wave where you're just fully on the belief. And then now everything's just flowing. All of a sudden, instead of like having to constantly get yourself back into the belief, you're just there. And now all that's left is the process of getting there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like it.
So if you ever fall off, you forget your belief or you stop, just go back to your statement, go back to your vision board, and just get back on the belief. And that's it.
And the one thing I like that you said that is because I've definitely lost belief before. I think we all have. And one thing that I always remember is like one thing that your dad always says, you know, never make decisions when you're feeling junk or when you're not feeling good. Don't make decisions when you're feeling bad. Right, which is something really good to remember.
Good. Yeah,
it's like, man, if I wanna quit my business, right, or man, I don't want to go running anymore, or man, I don't want to do this anymore. It's like, wait, how am I feeling right now? Like, oh my God, I'm feeling like you know, you're feeling like that. How do you say in Espanol? Like, más o menos. You're feeling like, you're feeling like so. And when you're feeling like that, I think it's important not to change your goal or your belief or whatever it is. Don't change it. Just do something that makes you feel good. And then come back to it. Because if you're feeling good, you're like, oh no, I still wanted that. I just wasn't feeling good at the moment. So I wanted to throw that in there. So in life, we have, like everyone was just saying, right? You have the peaks and the valleys. And slowly you'll have less valleys and more peaks, and try to stay happy and make your decisions from this place up here versus down here.
And what I'll add to that, do you want to move on or can I add?
You can add and then we move.
Okay, I'll go real quick. So one of the keys is to eliminate the fear, right? Because belief, really what belief is so like, it's really just that you don't fear the outcome. So what I'll say about that really quickly is that the more that you can switch on the belief as quickly as possible once you fall down, the easier it'll be to pull yourself out of the fear as quickly as possible. It's basically what I said before, but just in a different way. So you're basically trying to bring the belief back and keep maintaining. And it's a practice. That's what I wanted to say. It's a practice. It's not something that you just do inherently. I'm very lucky and fortunate that my dad is Alan Miguel and all this, but even with that, I still have to go through my own process, you know, just because I was raised, you know, with the lessons doesn't mean I don't have to practice and learn how to do it myself. So I had to go through that where like, oh man, I don't think I can be the world champion. It's like very difficult. Oh, but like, and then it's like, oh, but you know what? I believe. And it's like, well, this thing that I believe. And so you go through this practice, but eventually you're vibing high and then you come back up and your belief is so strong, it stays. There's a certain point where it stays. And at that point, that's when the intention happens like that. When your belief is so strong that it just is maintained the whole time, it happens like, I can't even tell you. It happens so quick that you're like, I can't believe this is that hard this whole time.
Yeah, right? The thinking of it was more hard than the actual attracting.
Exactly,
it, right? Yeah. Okay, so the last one. Thank you everybody for still staying with us. And if you're on Facebook, let us know where you're from so we know. Okay, and thank you everyone that's on our Zoom. We love you guys. Okay. So our last one for this, and these are good things that to share with your kids, to share with your mom and dad, your loved ones. My mom's on. That's so awesome. I saw Salvador, his wife, and his son was there too. Like this is things that are not just for your business, right? These are things for like life and goals and kids and like husbands and, you know, teach our family. And the last one is what happens if you truly believe? The power of belief. Like what is the benefit if you just truly believe?
Well, this is an interesting one. Do you have an idea?
Like I'll start right now. So like what happens when you just truly believe? I think a lot of the weight like kind of just drips away. The weight drips. The expectations of others, I think, drip. Just leave your body. I have to prove people right or wrong, you know, leaves because you believe so much that you're gonna achieve what you want, right? Like
it's almost funny when somebody doubts you in that moment.
Yes.
You laugh at them because they're like, like, oh my God, you think you can be Team Elite? you can't be team lead, and you just know that you will be. So you're just like, look, you're gonna look so stupid in like 2 months when I work, a year or whatever, when I'm team lead.
Yeah, right.
You just kind of laugh at them.
Yeah, that's true. And I think that's a very good point. I think if you have unwavering belief, maybe you can read that. I think if you have like an unwavering belief, that will like, it sets things really clear. And if things are really clear in your mind of what you want, then you can attract them. You know, God can bring them to you. You know, the universe.
Can we just get Diane?
Yeah, we can't hear her, so I have to when I'm translating what Salvador said. This is how I do it. I usually talk while I do this. But here you go. You can.
Yeah.
So having, like I said, having that ultimate belief of just truly believing, everything else leaves. The path gets clear. You see where you are. You see where you want to go, and it's just like, now time to take action. And action can be in the form of making phone calls. Action can be in the form of going to the gym, like mom. Action can be in the form of meditating and attracting, getting in the right vibration, getting in the right vortex, getting the right mindset. Because, and I think all of us can agree, when you're in the zone, you do like it's like a quantum leap. You do more with a less amount of time. Time's almost irrelevant.
You almost do magic.
Yes, you do real magic.
Yeah.
And time is irrelevant. And you can just boop, and you're like, oh my God, I got there. And like, wow, like I'm here now. Like, how did I do that? You know, you're just there. You arrived. And I think that would be the benefit of having ultimate belief in yourself.
Exactly. And let me just say, from a practical standpoint, if you believe that you're going to accomplish something, then you're going to push forward. If you don't believe you're going to accomplish something, there's no point in even trying, right? If you think like, well, I'm not going to be a team lead, right? So like, then what's the point of even trying, right? So on a practical level, it gives you the drive to push forward.
Now, I think Salvador had a good question.
I love this question.
Yeah, so Salvador, hey, brother Salvador, how are you?
We need more questions.
Está Mr. Guapísimo, right, our handsome friend. Okay, so why do you think other people who stay down for a long time in their life with little energy, and why are others easily to get up or to move forward? That's a really good question. And so what I've learned dealing with a lot of people, I'm not saying this is true.
Before you answer that, I want to get this really clear. That I understand your question is directed towards other people, but recognize why you're asking that question. First of all, you're asking what I hear when I hear that question is, how do I learn how to stay up easily, and how do I get up easily? Because like, it doesn't matter what other people do, and you can't control other people, right? All you can control is yourself. So a more empowering question to me than this, I'm not saying this is a bad question. This is a really good question, but a practical question to ask is, how do I stay up and have more energy? And what are the dynamics of that? So that's what I want to encourage us to kind of concentrate on and think about.
Well, your mom always says, right, if you're in low motion, you'll have low energy. So you need to get into motion and get into some sort of a physical action to change your physical, how do you say, your molecules, right? You're changing your energy, your molecules. And when you change your internal energy, your emotions and everything else change with it.
Totally. Yeah.
Right? So
that's one way. Your physiology affects your psychology.
There you go. Your physiology affects your psychology. So getting more physical is one way to stay up.
Yeah, there's so many other ways. I mean, I think the biggest thing that you'll notice is that energy is actually just currency. All right. So if we think about it this way, when you have a battery, right, or you have like a wire that energy is flowing through it, if you're not letting go of some energy, you can't allow energy to come through. So if it's just stuck there, there's nothing, it's just stagnant, and there's no power going outwards, right? So you need to actually release energy. You need to be giving, going out and supporting your tribe, your family. And that's the thing that'll actually allow more energy to come in, because the experience of having energy, when you really get down to it, is a flow. Yes. If if you're just stuck and you're stuck stagnant, that is actually the experience of being slow and not having energy is flowing through it.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. So I think the real answer is to set an intention on how you're going to help people, how you're going to benefit the world, how you're going to help yourself, what are your intentions for your life? What do you want for yourself? What do you want for your family? What do you want for the world? When you're really clear about those things, well, from a religious standpoint or from like a spiritual standpoint, God is going to give you all the energy you need. And if you don't have any intentions, he's just going to give you the amount of energy that you require for that. So if your only intention is to stay home and play video games all day, the only amount of energy you're going to get is the amount of energy to do that. But if your energy is, I want to go out and, help 50 people in a seminar and really support them in creating their dreams, how much energy is that going to require of you? And however much that is, that's how much energy you're going to receive from the universe, from spirit, from whatever higher power you believe in. You get what you ask for and what is necessary for you to accomplish your goals.
Like that? I do like that. And so and I think just for like understanding, why do you think some people stay down longer than others?
So I think that's a loaded question.
I think that's a
loaded question. I think I would say that's an interesting question to understand the mechanism, but that has no, like, the only relevant thing is how do I create more energy for myself? And the truth is that the key to creating more energy for myself is to give out energy towards others and give energy to myself and to set a clear intention of what I want to accomplish. Because the energy will come when the intention is clear. Yes?
Yeah. Okay. Wow. I think that was really good stuff. That's a lot of stuff in a short period of time. Everybody loves it, right? So if you like it and you agree, throw a 1 in the chat if you're having fun. Right, if you're having fun. Everybody throw the 1s in there. I'll throw my couple 1s in here. And so, everybody loves it. Awesome. And so, Jeanette. Okay, so
that's a lot of 1s.
That's a lot of 1s. So anybody have any questions on the power of belief or the topic of belief? If anyone has any questions, we're done early. We gave all the information that we were intending to give, I believe. But I definitely want to open it up on Zoom. And if you're on Facebook, I can read some of the comments. But if you can open it up to ask a question.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Please do.
Is that Eric first? Looks like Eric.
Oh, yeah, I had a question. Yeah. So
go ahead.
Great stuff, Evan. Appreciate it. Always good, Grant. You guys, good stuff. I for me personally, because I think as I go through this, especially when I'm doing more of the meditations and just kind of like really trying to visualize my intention on where I want my belief, I find myself distracted. And what do you suggest in the way of overcoming that, so that, I mean, I'm still doing it, but to get that emotion, internalizing, I still, because it still hasn't come completely, and I don't know if there's a blockage or something like that, but I'm just curious, like, what do you do normally in those type of situations where it's like the focus is really hard to maintain?
You want me to take that?
Good.
Okay, so this is a really great question, Eric. I really love this. And I think that it's really interesting. I think the thing that's coming to me right now, the answer that I really want to give you is actually just to be patient with yourself and to love yourself. And, it's like, I think that it sounds like there's a lot of, like, it sounds like there's a criticism or something that is like, oh man, why do I keep like falling out of belief or getting distracted or all this? And just understanding, dude, everybody goes through this. This is not special. Like, I hate to say it like that, but you're not special in that regard. You're very special as a human being. But in this particular thing, dude, we all get distracted. Like, I don't remember a meditation that I haven't gotten distracted. My whole life of doing meditation, I haven't ever done a meditation without getting distracted. That's not the point, right? The point is that we get distracted we have compassion for ourselves because we're human beings and we just are distracted. Like we get distracted and then we come back to focusing again. And the more we practice and the more we intend to be focused, that'll build our muscle to be able to do that. And that's what you've been doing. And even though it you know, the progress may seem a little slow or whatever, just know that it's progress. And that's the key. And as long as you're progressing, you'll get there in the end, right? So if your intention is clear to have that belief as strongly as it can be, then it'll get there. And the other thing that I'll say is you don't have to always have the belief in your conscious mind all the time. Yeah. You just have to have the belief very strong, and it'll be like, sometimes it'll just be in the back of your mind. And so like maybe you'll be thinking about a squirrel at some point, but at the same time, you'll remember that, you know, there's something deep inside of you that because you've been feeding that thing, it's automatically manifesting stuff. So you don't always have to be consciously choosing that. So just have compassion, you know, and for yourself, and you'll get there.
And I think, Eric, to add a little bit to that, like I 100% agree with you said. And I think on top of that, like, so having that compassion, having the patience, having love for yourself, and also kind of focusing a little bit on like what my thought pattern is, like, because like I would say, for example, like maybe it didn't come right away. Like maybe we expected it to happen today and it didn't happen today. It's like, oh my goodness, this like always happens, or oh, why don't I get it? Or there's that, you know, you're riding a high vibration, you're pulling in something like big, and then all of a sudden you're, you know, not you, but all of a sudden me, or all of a sudden the person thinks, man, this always happens to me, or why don't I win, or why does this person quit on me, or that person's always late, or like you kind of like turn your vortex, instead of going upwards because you're in momentum, you're in motion, and you turn it downwards, and it forces the plant or the seed to kind of just go back in the seed, and it can't come out because you're not watering it. You're reverse watering it. You're like, why is this not working? You're pulling it away. It's like the donde estás tus pesos? Where is your money? Where is your pesos? Right.
So that's the exact. So we're really saying the same thing from two different perspectives, right? Because so what he's saying is what's going on, right? Yeah. And what I'm saying is a solution to that. Correct. So he's saying what's going on is like you'll fall out and then you'll be like beating yourself up, and then that's manifesting more of that thing. So I'm saying, well, then what do I do? What do I do instead of beating myself up? Okay, here's the other option. Having compassion.
Yes, for myself.
For myself. And oh, I fell down. Oh, okay. Oh, that happens to every human being. That happens to Evan Nagal. That happens to Alan Nagal. That happens to, Kanye West. That happens to everybody. We're all like that. Yeah. So, but what separates them from all the people that can't create? And all it is the willingness to get back up and train the muscle. What separates people who are really fucking fit from people who are like fat? It's just that the people who are fit, the people who are fat went to the gym. The people but then they quit. The people who are really fit, they went to the gym and they felt bad the next day.
And they went to the gym anyway.
And they went to the gym. And then maybe one day they quit for a day, but then they came back and went to the gym again. Yes. And so that's the key, is strengthening the mind. And when your mind's really strong and fit, then you can take on the world. And so the key really is to understand that you're no different from any of the most successful leaders of all time. You know, I would like to say that, you know, Gandhi, he probably got distracted. I wouldn't say that his meditations were 100% focused all the time. Martin Luther King, he probably got distracted. You know, all these greatest leaders, they all got distracted at some points. But what separated them from the rest is that they got back on. They kept building. And that's what we got to do.
We got to keep building. All right. That's awesome. I love that. And Jeanette says, work on belief, and you have to clear time before meditating and don't doubt. Exactly. Just meditate and just believe. Have belief. Just believe. Have faith in faith. I think is the best way to say it. All right, perfect. Well, thank you everyone for joining us. I appreciate and I love all of you guys. Thank you so much for coming. Have a great rest.
Wait, does anybody have any more questions?
Any more questions?
It's okay if not, but
believe. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Good job, Susie. Believe. Okay, perfect. Well, thank you everybody for coming. Thank you, Evan, for showing up and being my guest today. Have a great rest of your day. And like Susie said, believe.
Susie knows what's up.
Susie knows. Okay, adios. Bye. Corazoncitos for everybody. Corazoncitos. Okay. Bye. Aloha. Ciao.